Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the canyon. Welcome back to a fresh weekly installment of Wheelin Wednesday. It's good to be out. It is good to be out. A couple notes here as we start. I've got one green hand. I've got a green hand because just over this way you can hear it burbling. Very zen-like over there. Couple days not being out here, the string moss has just gone insane. I literally took, it was the other hand, but I can't, because of where the lens is, I can't return from that side. You can go like this with your hand and make a giant green cotton candy of string moss around your hand. I probably pulled 5 pounds of it out just a minute ago. Like literally, you could almost see it like somebody had put spider webs across the top of the water, like all the water is full of it. And then the tree has dropped about half of its yellow flowers. They're all in the water. Guys, don't get a pond. Like, it's so much work. It's way too much work. So this is a guy, hasn't been out in a minute, you know, when the fleet gets to a certain size. And the deal is, this is good for me. I'm still on the tired side. How do we think he landed? I guess the easiest way is try a little reverse. Oh, here we come. Hey. Oh. Oh. All right. So I was thinking, now how do I get out of this? Oh. Hey, even better. I was thinking, while spinning the wheels, I feel like there are some rigs that aren't on the wheels, right? I don't think the Atlas is on the wheels. Toothless is on the wheels. I just wrote that one on there. Obviously the unfinished one, the homebrew gearbox, that's not on there. I don't think it will have time to go on there. But I never know with the really one-off custom stuff. I never know how long it's going to be here. So we try to get everybody involved. There we go. Oh, also, this guy hasn't been driven in a minute. Set him on the ground. And at that first tip-in of throttle, what a weird noise comes out of 3D printed inserts that haven't been used. Like it was like a, I don't know, like almost like a bone cracking noise as it moved for the first time. Yeah, it's too easy. Okay, we'll go all the way around here. Let's see if we can just mono frame this. We'll just drive around inside this box. Yeah, okay. Let's go all the way up to the high side. As I said, when we went through the episode of installing the Zoku, as this guy was the first guy to get the Zoku, when I drove this for the first couple times, and the overdrive servo endpoints are out of adjustment, I can't get into big overdrive. So when I was getting this thing, there we are. When I was getting this thing put together, and we were still going through the tuning, and it sits fairly fresh in my mind that when I first put it together, just took the parts and transferred over, I was like, oh no. Like I had that moment, like where I had gone through a lot of work to build something, and then it didn't work. And literally changed from 80mm shocks to 90mm shocks. And the word that would describe it is transformative. It was alarming at how much it got better. And then, of course, the travel. Then we got a big increase in travel, which is why he's got no fenders. And ever since, this is the guy. It's strange because the sort of OG garage, the very first garage in the shop that was built to hold crawlers, holds Zoidberg, Blue Sky High, and Argentum. Zoidberg and Argentum are kind of that, you know, they're either flirting with or dancing around that crawler's paradox, where what we've done is we've assembled something that is potentially too capable. This guy, you know, a lot of people will still say that the Phoenix is more of a scale trail rig, which, I mean, I guess that's fine if you want this to be considered a trail rig. It sets the bar for everything else trail rigged pretty high. And I think once you've gone to a vertical plate LCG chassis, I think scale is out the window a little bit. I think scale has got to have C-channel at least. Let's see if we can get on this really... See, big overdrive would be helping right here because I can move the front end around a little better. I am trying to figure out, okay, we are gonna have to, we'll drop out of frame here momentarily. I'm trying to figure out a way to do an entry right where all of this, the little scrabbly stuff, can I get across that? There's no hard set here on the steps. This was a pool deck. That's why it's got that kind of more tan. We call that tan, right? And the steps is an obstacle that was built over and over and over again. Like one of the very first things that I laid down. Every Wednesday we throw in a little canyon history. So these cinder blocks right here, those are below ground level. So the ground level that was here was pre-existing. So the very first stuff, these little guys right here, I had torn down a shed that was in the yard, and the lunatic old man had buried cinder blocks in the ground, and then he poured it. So those are the shapes of the holes in, as they call them in many places, breeze blocks. But don't fill them all the way up. Just fill like 1.5 inches. So that was the thickness of the concrete. We really weren't finding concrete much thicker than that. So there were hundreds and hundreds of these things. So I dug this trough out. I built this. I had those that big plank of wood, like a glue lamb piece, and built that very rudimentary bridge, which now as I look at it, I think you can see in the, see that little line there right there? This one is a little straighter than that one. It's been out here a minute, and it is definitively soil contact. So, oh, okay, dig is still, nope. I was gonna say dig is still working, but I think what I need one of those mirrors like they have for blind driveways. We need like right about here. We need a mirror that looks down so you can see where you've landed. He keeps going wheels. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not gonna work out well. We're dragging the recovery hook. Let's see if we can get across the top here without the recovery hook hanging on something. Because if it hangs on something, it is gonna stop us. Uh-oh. Nope, okay. All right. I'm trying to say to myself, don't drive over the rope. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're hooked in real good. I was hoping to not have to walk over there, but here we are. All right, we're not gonna use that line today, so I have double hooked it so it's extra tight. Shouldn't fall off now. I'm gonna have to figure out. Yeah, it only goes to 2-wheel drive. The dumber part of me was like, just get into endpoints, man. Just start resetting those endpoints, and he was winning, and I was pushing the button, and it wasn't making any difference. So the part of me that is at least modestly more rational was like, maybe you should take the body off and take a look at it. The receiver is currently, and probably not forever, now that I've looked at it, is currently mounted right next to where the Overdrive linkage comes out of the side of the VFD twin. And the little bundle of wires that zips tied together for like steering, servo, overdrive servo, everything's all bundled together right there. It had kind of slipped over, and the head, the little knuckle of a zip tie stopping the linkage from going all the way. So it was actually physically impeded. So had I changed the endpoint and managed to push it enough, it was luckily physically impeded to the point where it could not travel far enough. Because I would have tried to burn that servo out is what I would have done. Okay, now I had wished that had sounds wheels to me. This guy, he's like a cat. I have debated many times about cutting the front fenders down a little more just because he's so much travel. I mean, I took the rear fenders off altogether. Like, what are we really sacrificing at this point? That breakover is so good, and that approach is so good. And Fusion Pro low speed is so good. Everything's so good. Today's a good day. I am feeling significantly more human. I'm feeling at least modestly more human. I'm fine. Let's move the camera a little, because I'm not 100% sure. I mean, yeah, I built it, whatever. I don't know where the beast stops and the steps start. I kind of consider the steps just to be that section on the other side of the tunnel that we repeatedly fall into. This entry right here, let me tell you, some more history. When Jolly Green was still a TRX4 and he was the only guy here, making this transition right here, like he would just roll into the pit, into the pit, into the pit, like every time. Making that was like a 1 in 6 proposition. And I mean, now, how close can we get to that squirrel hole? Like things feel different. Oh, that big overdrive just pushed that nose end down. It just, it's a whole new world. Yeah, this approach from this side. Let's try big OD all the way up. All the way up. Yeah, just claws its way up. It's like too easy. Finding that entry in over here. Those weeds are some tough customers. I don't know this guy. I don't know what they yeah, there. Take that. You know, at first I couldn't tell car or motorcycle. All right, okay. That little, all right, you see it coming, right? Okay, fine. All right, where that passenger front low, it is gonna fall into this little, we got like a little chute. We're gonna drop into that chute. There's no way that's gonna hang on that little edge right there, right? Squirrel house. Lizard house, squirrel house over there. There's no way that's gonna hang on there, because that's the only way he's gonna manage to make this pivot. I'm in a position where I do not think that I can switch overdrives. Ooh, hold it. Look at it. We didn't fall. All right, let's try big. Who knows? Something's biting me on the back. Aye. Something about this corner. That didn't sound like wheels. There we are. Something about this corner. I don't know what it is. Like, it's like where biomes intersect. No, I don't like the post in there. There we go. It's like where biomes intersect, the gnat and bitey things. I mean, it's delightfully shady, but you get gnawed on over here. I was like, what is hanging off the front? Spider webs. Oh, let's try low. I don't know what's hung, but it's hung up pretty good. Can we pull off of that? Yeah. Here's okay, small overdrive. Here's where it gets iffy. Oh, I like this. I like the sun coming through the slats there. Oh, look at that. That's a good stuff. Yeah, the steps is definitely a section where the crossings much easier to cross left to right, and the higher you go, the easier it is. So I would love to be able to get across this right here. I mean, I don't know if I've tried that one the other way. So if we can make it back this way without falling in, maybe I'll give it a shot. Ooh, I see that pumpkin. I see it on there. Getting just, no. Oh, whoa. Just enough. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't sound like a weed eater. I don't know what those guys are doing. Just in time for the season, we've got those, like, I mean, I guess they're horseflies. They're huge, and they bite. And that's only occurring from, like, I'm wearing shorts, so that's occurring from shorts down. So, like, knee to ankle horseflies, neck to hat brim gnat cloud. It's that perfect summer, just insect, face insect. Luckily, the ground below us is still cool enough. This is potentially why he's doing pretty well. I mean, tusks on squid inserts were going to be great, but this is about as cool as you're going to see, because air temperature is 73. None of these rocks have seen sunlight this morning except what's streaking through the fence. So traction is as good as we're gonna get it. And the forecast high today is in the low 90s. I don't know if you can see through the bridge, but I can. You know what? You're absolutely right. I can now see it as better as well. All right, I have to make a decision here. Too much upturn is going to put us in the trench, but that knob of a block that's right in front of the bumper right now, we can't go around that. At least I don't think. I don't think we have it on the side grip to go around that. We have to go over that. But if I turn too far this way, it's gonna transfer that weight too much. All right, we try to go around. Didn't sound like wheels. Didn't sound like wheels because it wasn't. Yeah, I'm not saying that the high crossing is easy. You've got to pick your spot. But it's that thing. Like, I want this at least, I mean, I don't know if the low crossing is possible, but I at least want to make this. I tell you, this guy's ability to self-right is so good. It's just, what I've done is designed it such that there's no entry to that middle line. Well, you know what? We're gonna find one. I'm not saying I'll try all day. This isn't a fresh battery. So we're limited by how many times I can slap my own calves to get the flies off of them, and how long this battery holds up. So can we make it before? Like, you can see that rear end is going to flop. Dig was not the answer there. I never even have to, I don't even have to go over there and reach in. He's either on wheels or on his side. And because of the width of the little channel there, it's just right, unless you get Austin Powers in there. I just give it, I turn it ground side, give it a tiny little bit of reverse. He just walks up right back on his wheels. A genuine pleasure to drive, and I much like the flies on the legs, I bat away the thoughts in my head of, you know, make this guy a proper truggy, right? Put just a cab on there. That body is not bad. It weighs just over 8 ounces, half a pound with the cage element and the interior and the front. But we acknowledge that a fully painted J-Concepts Creep cab is under 3 ounces. This thing would be absolute cheating. I don't think it would look remotely as good, and it wouldn't be a Phoenix. If it doesn't have a Phoenix body on it, it's Phoenix adjacent. And this guy has been determined by the powers that be, he's gonna stay a Phoenix for his career. Oh, don't you do it. Don't you do it. He's gonna stay a Phoenix for his career. And I genuinely do want to stick to that, because many rigs here have changed bodies multiple times, including some rigs that were built specifically for the body that they're fitted with. So we gotta make some choices. It's too easy. This is just lazy. This is just lazy. But I can't. All right, we'll give it another one or two. I can't find it. All right, we'll go the midline backwards. This is south to north. Now, easy right there. Easy on the entry. That little broken point there. All right, okay, I got it. I'm wayfinding here. Okay, he's kind of wayfinding with me. We need to stay up there with the front. A little bit. Sometimes I'll go a little while without driving a Fusion Pro. And if you've never experienced a Fusion Pro, if you've never driven one, if you're living that SE life, and I get it, I still recommend to people, if you're starting out and you're upgrading an RTR, buy an SE. Because the difference in cost between a Pro and an SE, a Pro is double, right? You take that extra money, you can buy wheels, tires, and inserts. So wheels, tires, inserts, and an SE is gonna do you better than just a Pro. And then you do what the rest of us do. Hopefully you won't end up with like 30 crawlers in your house. But if it's your first one, you start with the SE, the tires, the wheels, the inserts. Then when you start to love it more and you start throwing money at it in the hopes that it will like you better, you put a Pro in that one. Now you've just got an SE sitting on your table, desk, or workbench, and that cannot be allowed. Now you got to build another rig. Those are the rules. I didn't make the rules. If you've got any reasonable amount of componentry unused, you have to build a rig for that. Those are the rules. And then next thing you know, you've got 10 or 28. If that low tire stays, look at that cross up. I don't know how, I don't know. Part of me just wants to give it full beans, but I think high side's gonna bounce off that and we're going in the tunnel. How do we stay out of the trench on this? I don't know how he's staying out of the trench right now. No. Ooh, okay. All right. Little bit. Ooh. That rear end, I don't know how it's holding. Ooh. Come on. Come on, guy. Show it to us. I can tell these wheels. It's facing the direction that climbing is more difficult. Part of me is like, well, that'll do it for today. And the other part of me is like, you haven't made it. You haven't made a low pass or a mid pass from either direction. You've shown nothing. You've done nothing. We're going in again. And by that I mean into the trench, I think. That was a sweet pirouette, bro. No. Okay, I mean we can. I don't think we're driving out of that one. There are far too many tire tracks in the bottom of that trench right now. Because we have been down there a lot. Okay, it's like he knows where the easy line is, and he just goes towards it. Well, don't seek it out. Okay, this transition right here, I want to go right up through that in the hopes that I can like arc it over. I want to go right through there. But this little section right here, there's not a lot of grip right there. And we are already at like, I don't know, we're past 45 for sure. The front end is certainly past 45. And that rear goes real light on us. There's not a lot of steering input I can put into it, so I'm just hoping that the suspension will get us through. Now we're undercutting. It's a decent save. It's one of the first times I've actually tried to save it, and instead of just my hands just drop down to my sides and I just watch him tumble. Come on, you cat. So at this point, I feel like we're going to depart. We're going to end this day as abject failures. We've not successfully cut a midline at the steps. It was so perfectly like it had the sound. That was that real Iron Man landing sound. We knew he was ready to fight. It was designed so perfectly by a madman who was just literally stacking concrete chunks on top of each other that it is completed as it sits, you know, in such a way. That's a roll right there. I don't think I can get the skid off of that. There are like there's 2.5 effective routes, and if you want if you're trying to make another route, everything is, you've heard me utter the phrase many times, in between the wheelbase. Everything is in between the wheelbase, so or in between the wheel track, like where you need a tire to hang on. No, drops off. This is mid-low, but again, I think we've passed this mid-low before. All right, let's try and exit lower. That was a nice drop in. That felt pretty good. Also, what? Totally was there. I almost said a bit of a portal line, but no. This is 1,000% a portal line, because pushing belly across right there, unless you're running something tall, you're not going to have enough clearance to make that across there. But I feel like each time I go at it, I'm trying something a little different. But not gonna lie, NGL, my friends, it is starting to feel a little bit like insanity. I am just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. This is a worry for me, and you can allay my fears and try to put me back on stable ground here. What I hope that translates is, some of this stuff is difficult, and I don't know. Here's where the fears lie. Is it difficult, or is it just difficult for me, right? Because when I did the 6, when we installed the 6 permanent gates over at Anomaly and named it the 6, I was like, this seems okay. And then there were a lot of comments that were like, bro, that is a rough course. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I don't just want to look like, oh, look, we threw some gates down and then we drained through them. If it's not difficult, what's the point? Because then you're going to get better. And achieving the crawler's paradox should be that real mixed feeling. Like you should feel both great and at the same time kind of like, oh. And then, then you end up with a bunch of class 1s, I guess, because nothing challenges you anymore. So I tend to go the opposite way because, I don't know. Me and class 1, we've got 3 class 1s in the fleet, and I don't know. It's not a real strong embrace. It hasn't caught me. Like, I know a lot of people they derive pleasure from doing a more difficult line with a less capable rig, which I get. But to me, as a builder, on top of being a builder, I just want to make a more capable rig and then make a line that is just more and more and more difficult until you get to the point where we have something like the steps right here, which it's a pile of pool deck with dirt fill, but it somehow came together in such a way that some of the lines might be impossible, at least for me. Somebody else might be able to come out here and slay these lines, but not I, and not with what I would argue is probably the most capable rig that I have overall. Imagine the wheel, the wheel of capabilities. All the capabilities are cranked high, like all the bits and pieces that go together to make Argentum all strong. So, like, does he have the absolute most forward drive? Does he have the absolute best side hill? Does he have the absolute best of everything? No, but he's very strong at all things. And an all-rounder for me is kind of where it's at. This guy is an all-rounder. Oh, look at this. Look at the sun dappling through the trees. We couldn't make that midline, everybody. We tried. We tried our best. We tried something approximating our best. We tried several times. An attempt was made. So we have to let it go at that. I love Wheelin Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. I love Wheelin Wednesday. I don't know about the rest of you, but for those of you that are here, repeatedly, I do thank you so very much for watching. I invite you to tune in again for whatever comes next. I thank you so much for your patronage. We do so strongly wish you were here. And we hope that between now and when we meet again, you one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We will see you again very soon. I just noticed there is a lot more patina on that body than there was before we started today. We will see you in the next one, Argentum Plays Out.